Sit back and relax for an evening with the Thamesmen.
Hello!
Hello, George. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you very much.
I am George. I'm in Los Angeles.
He is George, and he is in Los Angeles, and I am Alexander, and I am in San Francisco.
Uh-huh. You wouldn't believe it, would you?
Nah, not really. Not with these accents and teeth.
Is it cold there? You got like your jumper on, like zipped up. Is it chilly up there?
No, I'm just well dressed in English. And yourself,
okay.
Are you off to play a rugby match?
I just came in off the field, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it wet? Were you sporting wedges?
Smelling of mud. And
Smell of mud. You people in America don't know what mud smells like. When you went to a school like ours, it stank.
Oh, yeah, sweaty boys and mud. Yeah, in the changing room.
This is an English public school. This is where Britain raised its empire builders of yesterday and still trains its leaders of tomorrow. This is the unchanging English public school. This is where you still learn to play the game.
Oh, those I remember those days. And then the people rubbing, was it like Ralgex or Deep Heat or whatever all over them? You know, it was like this.
No. What you do is when they go for the shower, you get the Deep Heat, the Ralgex, that hot whatever, and you rub it in their underwear. And then when they come back out, you would see Jenkins hopping around just like you, chucking his tackle under the sink. You know. Anyway, welcome everyone.
Another edition of Secrets of English Schoolboys.
Absolutely. Welcome back to the Thamesmen. You're in safe hands. This is a channel where we take your suggestions and we listen to them. And this one has come through Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and I have never heard it.
Really? How could that be? I was a huge Black Sabbath fan. That was my opening. I've said in other videos, my very first gig was Black Sabbath at Hammersmith Odeon. My uncle took me, and it was transformative. I think the reason I'm sitting here now is because I went to that gig. And I don't think that's a good thing or a bad thing, honestly.
Where would you be sitting if you hadn't gone to that gig?
I might have been like a rocket scientist, or I might have been like, in a lab working in like doing chemistry or something, But no, I got into music.
Oh, so it's your uncle's fault that you ended up doing the Thamesmen? Yes,
it's his fault. Yes. Yeah.
What about me? I'm just your freaking sidekick. That I'm also useless,
No, it's not that at all. It's just
actually, I was on YouTube, right? And I do apologize, everyone that's here. I was on YouTube, and there is some amazing, talented stuff. There's all these discussions about this, and then there's educational things about stars and space travel, and there's this and what, and then you got us.
I know. Yeah, I mean, have you come across that website? One of my favorite and super geeky one, and people should check it out, is a guy called Everyday Astronaut. Have you seen his website?
No, but I know you love him. You love space rockets and trains.
Yeah, I do. Exactly. But Everyday Astronaut is a guy who had no college education, who really wanted to work out how rockets worked. So he makes these videos about like why rocket engines don't melt, or like the history of every engine the Russians ever built. And they're insanely detailed. And he's now turned into a full-time career, like millions of subscribers, amazing merch, great merch. I got like one of his mugs, like an Everyday Astronaut. And then he does all like live streams of all the SpaceX launches and other space stuff. And he's really good. You got to watch him. He's brilliant. Brilliant.
That's a good point. Do you think we'll ever get merch out?
Do you think so?
That's a really good idea. Maybe we should release the merch shop next week.
Well, we better get ready then, hadn't we?
We better do something.
Yeah,
Wadgers.
If people didn't see the Kinks video, they won't know what a wadger is. So don't confuse them.
A wadger is a wet badger that we've decided could be a good pair of boots.
Slippers. Yeah, we think they're particularly waterproof.
Oh, wadger inside. The inside wadger.
you turn your badger inside out, and you got a wadger.
Furline wadgers for the man who has everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, shall we move on to Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, a track I've never heard?
Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll have a chat.
Do you know this track?
I do.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, at least one of us hasn't seen it, but anyway,
all right,
it's great.
All right, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Is that where you two got Sunday Bloody Sunday from?
I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
Sunday Bloody Sunday is when the troops opened up and killed a load of protesters.
Yeah, so they probably got it from there, not from Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
No.
Anyway, are you ready?
Fine line. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, straight away.
The race is wrong, the book is read, the end begins.
well, that's not what I expected.
It's a really interesting track, isn't it?
So obviously, you know, first of all, phenomenal track, phenomenal. But they all played superbly in there. But the composition is so I know the album I know inside out is Paranoid, right?
Yeah.
That's it. I know that, and I never really moved off. So to hear it actually split up, and actually, I heard a Mugen or a synth in there at one point, and a different texture on the bass, and it wasn't so, you know, linear. It had a lot more peaks and troughs.
Yeah, it's not like a just traditional rock song, like verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Which it does have verse, but it just has, like, you know, soft elements. It has the harder, distorted elements. It has Ozzy wailing. You know, it has a bit. You know, then with a bass line, you know, is that Geezer Butler on bass when he just goes through it. It's a really, and like there's a complex rhythm to it as well. You know, it's like that sort of offbeat thing.
On the Paranoid album, and I can't remember which song it was anyway, but apparently they just travelled up and down playing non-stop, and they were tighter than a clam's ass, right, at high tide. And if you listen on the Paranoid album, actually there's a couple of times when they do key changes, rhythm changes, and, you know, go 3/4 to 4/4, and I mean, without missing a beat, they are so tight. So they might have been absolutely off their trolley on drugs, and Ozzy apparently would just turn up with no shoes on and didn't even know what, but they were tight, absolutely, just from years on the road, you know.
They were freaking great band. When I saw them live, it was actually when I saw them live is Ozzy had left at that point. It was Ronnie James Dio, but it was the other three: Bill Ward and Geezer Butler and Tony Iommi. And you know, Ronnie James Dio can sing like nobody anyway. But just as a performance, they were so good. And then I did go and see them like a couple of years ago at the Hollywood Bowl, just for old time's sake. And by then, you know, Ozzy's voice wasn't what it was. You know what it was? It was like he obviously had the time had taken its toll on him, shall we say? You know, but it was
I saw an interview with Ozzy, and he was in the garden. He was sitting there and smoking a big cigar, and he points to the house behind. He goes, "See that?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, $12 million house, and I have to smoke the fucking cigar in the garden. And apparently his wife absolutely lost it with him one time when he disappeared for like 3 or 4 days. Okay. And then he was so off his trolley. He arrived back at his house and tried to get back into bed with his wife with 2 girls. He forgot she was just like, at that point she nearly left him.
Oh yeah, he must have been a tough one. Did you? We talked about it the other day. I think the film of Motley Crue.
I haven't seen it.
And this called The Dirt. And I like, you've got to see it. It's really good. There's one scene in there where they're hanging out with Ozzy by the pool, and it's just madness. And that's when Ozzy snorts a line of ants. You know, it's just like,
I don't know, just like, makes my skin crawl. How messed up do you have to be to take a load of ants?
It's funny we should do this chat, because in the comments, like how things all come around and how things coincidence. The other in one of the comment threads on another video I was answering a couple of days ago, we talked about 1976 and about you know, what a great year 1976 was and how these albums came out and stuff. But it's also the year of the English drought. And I'm going to come to a point in a second, I promise. And there is an album, Black Sabbath, which has a picture of Ozzy in front of his old mill house. And that is in the local village from us, a local town, Maple Durham, down by the River Thames.
Well, you know who owned the Easterns.
Easterns, yeah. I knew the
went
Jack
to school
Easton.
with them. Yeah, went to school and then the media used to go around and play. Big old Catholic family.
Yeah, exactly. They had this big old house, and so in 1976, did you ever see the film The Eagle Has Landed?
Oh yeah, and they recorded it down there. I went down to see it.
I went there it was like summer holidays, 1976, which in England was a drought year, so everything was just burnt or dry. There was no water anywhere, and they were filming it with Michael Caine, Jenny Agutter, and a load of others. And we went down there and we had a picnic and we'd watch them filming. And I went and then run in and I'd collect all the bullet casings from the half track where they go, and I had this bag of like all the empty brass shells that I'd collected. It was the coolest thing ever when you were a kid. That was awesome.
Well, for what we're talking about is their family. We know they have this big house. They have a watermill, and that's where they did their. Was it their second album cover or first album cover?
It was like 1970. The album was Black Sabbath. So
yeah, and that's the album there, and it's a bit weird, whatever. But if you actually kind of look back, it's the mill house for where George and I grew up, just down the road. You know?
And if you then go watch The Eagle Has Landed, that's where they have this big fight, big shootout scene. Guy gets stuck on the water wheel, gets blown up in the end. And I was down there when they blew it up. It was fantastic. It was so cool. But
Go there! Go, Mallory! The most exciting adventure story of World War II. Millions have read the book. Now an international cast brings dramatically to life on the screen this epic story of Hitler's desperate attempt to change the course of history. Stunning.
Well,
actually, sorry, another little story. This is like getting embarrassing things out. I was only like, 9 or something like that, I suppose. And so we were there every day. And then by the mill, they had all this stuff laid out, and we were walking down there by that. And there was one of those big, old-fashioned spotlights, like a huge light. And it was like on a tripod of wheels, and it had like a little handle. And I was like a kid, and I went and moved the handle. Unfortunately, it was the brake. And it was on a slope, and I was between it and the pond. So it started rolling down the hill. And I had to run in front of it, and I dived in the pond, and this light followed me into the mill pond.
No,
and I freaking sank this fucking great big studio light into the pond.
You're lucky you didn't get electrocuted. Did
Oh,
they
no,
pull you out by the
trapped or killed? But anyway, so then my mum was so mortified. She made me go and apologize to the producer that its light was in the fucking pond.
Oh, absolutely classic. What did the producer say? Did he just, be all English?
I was a 9-year-old kid. What could he say? You're going to pay for your light?
Hit you. Being in England, he could hit you. In the 70s, he's either going to give you a cigarette or he's going to hit you.
He was quite cool, as I remember. But anyway, so that was it. But what track were we doing? Oh, Black Sabbath. Oh, yeah, we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking of welcome to George's reminiscent past, talking of weather, shall we stop and have a weather check in
on
your
weather?
local area?
Yeah, it's good.
Right, back in a second. Welcome to the weather. I'm Danny Galaxy. As you can see, it's going to be freezing, and really freezing. It's your fault for living there. It's a shitty place. You deserve it. Back to the studio.
Okay. So, I think it's that time of night where...
Oh, no. Is it that I don't want to hear those words again last time you said that, Where you do a Scottish dance?
Shush, it's easy, Tiger. Excellent. So, it's that time. Is it a... Banger or wanger?
Oh, banger!
Oh.
Welcome back. All right. Well, George, it's wanger or banger time or banger or wanger. What are you going to give it?
Oh, it's a banger. It's a huge banger. But what sort of banger is it, sir? What do you think?
Oh, dear me. Well, let's think. It's a God. I can't. It's a black
You
banger.
lost inspiration?
But a Sabbath banger? A Black Sabbath banger?
It's a banger, bloody banger, mate.
It's a bloody banger.
It's a banger, bloody banger, isn't it?
It's a what? Banger? a banger, bloody banger.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. It is a great song. Absolutely loved it. Do you think this album? Do you know this album?
I don't really know. I've listened to it, but I don't really know it. But yeah.
Is their best album the Paranoid album?
I liked what's it called? Saints and Sinners, was it as well? I think it was. I really like that album as well. Yeah. So I think
the musicianship, it was more mature on this album. I mean, they weren't doing Iron Man, like Iron Man.
Oh, that was great. I loved Iron Man.
No, I like it. I love it.
Live, it's
really,
brilliant. Live, it's brilliant.
Come on. So I thought this was more mature. It
was more complex, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely a complex song, and like again, we say like that sort of weird rhythm timing thing, and the sort of offbeat bits. It was really interesting. So,
well, definitely, it is a banger, bloody banger. It was a great track. Loved it. If anyone would like any more Sabbath, and please do, if they're because I'm not that great on Sabbath. I only know the really early stuff. Put it down there. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. Should have done Purple and the Kinks. We're doing Sabaton after this. Yeah. Really looking forward to that. And hopefully some Metallica coming up as well. So yeah, some good stuff. So, if you could like to subscribe, come on the journey with us, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.
Really appreciate your support, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
See you on the flip side. Flip side.